Hi, hi, hi. Okay, so yeah, there it is over there. All right, so hello. Wow, I feel like I'm out of breath. Maybe because I was in a rush. Well, I don't even need to be rushing. I was just like, let me just go on live. It's been a couple of days, um, and I'm like, what I want to talk about. So yeah, excuse me, drinking some Kool Aid. Okay, so what's on my mind? Like I said, I'm just pressing play, hitting record, just to document some stuff, so it can be visual, because when the media, divine timing, trying to tell y'all divine timing, when that happens, and like all these videos and like my pictures, I'm talking about hidden cameras, hidden videos, people who but oh my goodness. Matter of fact, I was thinking about this the other day when I went to a club. This was years ago. This is about like hidden cameras. Goodness, I just wiped my glasses off on my shirt and that made it worse. Let me use the sheet. But yeah, it was I went to the club. This was years ago. Oh my goodness. And this is about a digital camera that was lost or that was taken, or y'all know how it go, that setup kind of a thing, like, oh, we need to get that digital camera from her, we need to, even times when I got evicted, there's been plenty of, man, that happens plenty of times. And that right there is a testimony. When I say I have been, this is throughout the years, when I say I have been put out of my own apartments, and that's the S at the end. That means I was able to keep getting them. And every ones that I have gotten, it was like an upgrade. Like something was like, ooh, I like this kitchen better than the last one, or ooh, this space is more bigger than the last one, and I can do more with it, or ooh, this I got a washer and dryer in the unit, or, ooh, everything is newly updated. It's black appliances, it's stainless steel, but apartment probably a little bit more smaller, but it's like an upgrade. I'm the first person to get it while everything is freshly new, like that kind of thing. So like, but I know it's been like benefits. So I'm like, that's a testimony in itself. So what people be thinking, oh my goodness, I got evicted one time. Is it gonna be hard for me to get another apartment? For me, well, everybody's different. And me, I'm different. So I've been watched my whole life, as so many of y'all have been, but like I'm really, really, like been watched to make sure that I ain't gonna say the bare minimum, but it's more so, hey, just make sure she have enough to where she's not like struggling. So hey, yeah, she's been evicted, but give her that, me, I'm like, I always know that it's something better. Like even where I'm at now, I know this is not it. Like, come on now, I'm still up in an apartment, so, and it's not enough space for all of my children. So I'm like, I know this is not it. Trust and believe. Already seen the house, and we already, goodness, we I see us already traveling. Like we already are going to be traveling. Like that's like it's already done for that. Like so but yeah, it's gonna have a house. But what was I talking about? Yeah, like far as being evicted, like it's like I said, I've been watched before I was born. So of course throughout the years prior to this year, you know, I wasn't really thinking how not washed, how like, well yeah, how many eyes and how many people are guiding me and watching me. Like I wasn't really thinking about that years ago. But for the past, I'ma say 10 years, between 8 to 10 years ago, that's when I really, on and off, but more so if I want to say fully embraced it, I'ma say the past maybe 4 or 5 years, like straight, like every day. Like I know that I'm blessed. I see the goodness in things. I see the pros and cons. I see why things have to happen. Like it be times when I'm like up in the kitchen or just in the living room. Oh, and say I'm trying to pick something up off the ground. Like say I dropped one of my daughter's toys and I'm trying to pick it up. So I'm literally like over top of it trying to pick it up and I'm picking it up, but if for some reason my hands won't grasp it, or every time I pick it up, it's like falls out of my hand. I'm like, what the word? So I'm like, oh, okay, y'all playing games. So that's what, and I just gotta laugh because I'm just like, okay, who was trying to piss me off? Not trying to have me pick up this damn toy. Like I'm right here, like my hand is like right here touching it, but for some reason it keeps falling. And that happens throughout some days, like even when I'm like sweeping the kitchen or something, and then like the broom, like I set the dustpan up, on the floor up against the wall, or the broom, I lean it up against the wall for whatever reason to move the trash can or something, and then it keeps falling over. And I'm like, why in the world are you falling over? Come on, stay put. Like I'm about to get you, I'm about to get back to you. Like stay put. And then the thing keep falling over, like for no reason. I'm like, okay, who trying to piss me off? Who trying to make me sweep and be a little more complicated or be complicated? Like who trying to test me? Like come on now. So it's different things like that I just pick up on, but I don't get like mad or upset because I know what it is. So I'm like, okay, I know y'all, or even some people just trying to play. Like, why y'all trying to play so damn much? Like, let me just clean up. Like, play later. Like, goodness, stop trying to, make things last longer than what they have to last. So, wait, I need to wipe my glasses off again. Or do I need to wipe my eye? What? Mm, man. Well, let me try my pants. So yeah, so with going back to, I know I was talking about eviction for apartments, and this is the places that I have in my own name. Oh yeah, so basically I was saying that because that's a bit better. My glasses. But I was saying that because I have plenty of testimonies to be like, yeah, I was evicted and I got another place, maybe a year or two later, but it still happened, you know, and and stuff like that. So I'm like, don't be discouraged. Like, and then my mindset was like, I always knew I wasn't going to be staying with my mom for the rest of my life. Like, absolutely not. Okay. So, and then I had children, and I'm like, my children deserve so much. So I'm like, they deserve more than just sleeping on couches. Like me, if it was just me, myself, okay, yeah, I'll sleep on somebody's couch. I can tidy up a couch. I don't mind cleaning up behind myself. Like, duh, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. Show gratitude for somebody, for letting somebody, for letting somebody have you stay with them. Like, yes, is that's like nature to me. Like, oh, okay, thank you, you let me stay with you for a couple of days or however long, and you just have a couch to offer me. Yes, I'm gonna make sure that couch and pillows is fluffed up every time I get up, and and everything. Like, come on now. Like, absolutely, that's no problem for me. But anyways, I just knew and still know that my children deserve better. My children deserve to be traveling the world, deserve to be together, together, together. Okay? Not separated. So so yeah, you know what? Let me not even get on that topic because I ain't trying to have this video. I ain't want to talk about my bitch ass baby daddies. No, I'm done. I don't want to reiterate they gay ass bullshit things that they done did. But yeah, so let me not even talk about that. So so yeah, so anyways, so I'm just like yeah, and the places that I done got after one another, I'm grateful for it. I'm thankful for it, for them places. And I'm just like, wow, I can't even explain it. Like even the prices, like say say speaking of which, the first time I moved to Baltimore, I got my own place, and my you like I'm just like, wow, I don't really know nobody in Baltimore besides my children, besides my son's dad. You know what? I don't even want to, why am I talk damn it, do I gotta bring his ass up because I'm talking about their apartment in Sedonia? Well, let me see. Can I just talk about their apartment in Sedonia without bringing his bitch ass, down low, gay ass motherfucker, black, trifling ass up? Okay. So I got a place in Baltimore on Sedonia in a nice area, nice neighborhood. It was right next to the Baltimore County and Baltimore City line, but I was in the city part. So the rent was, and this was years ago. This, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago. I moved there when my son Melvin, when he was like 6 months. I moved like in May or June, like June, yeah, like May, June-ish. I moved in, and I had him in December the year prior. So that was, he was 6 months around that time. But anyways, so the rent I think was under $1,000. It was a two-bedroom apartment. Oh my goodness, that apartment. Listen, and I already claimed that apartment anyway for other uses in the future. Stay tuned. But that apartment, I lived on the third floor, and it had this nice ass balcony. And it was like one of them apartments when you like walk in the main, in the front of the building, it doesn't look high, but if you go to the back, it was two. Oh my goodness, I like that apartment because it was only two people to every floor. So that means you had a view from the front and the back of, the apartment building. So you can go to the front, you know, well, the front of the apartment building was like where the bedrooms was at. So you can go out, look out the bedroom windows, and you can see like the main street, that's Sedonia, whatever. You can see the main street. You can park on the main street. You can, whatever. That's the main street before you turn into the parking lot. But then if you go to the living room side, the living room, dining room area where the balcony was at, that's the view of like the main parking lot. So like when you pull inside the apartment complex, there's like parking lots and parking spots. And you can see, the parking spots and stuff like that from your balcony or dining room window. So the balcony, I lived on the third floor. The balcony from the back was like rised up higher. This reminds me when I was living on Boundary Avenue in Capitol Heights, where like the front, where like the back of the building, we lived on the bottom floor back then when I was younger. We lived on the bottom floor. But then if you look out the window to the living room, it looked like we was like on the second floor, yeah, like on the second floor, even though we lived on the bottom floor, like that back part rides up the hill. So that's how these apartments in Baltimore was. Well, the unit that I stayed in anyway. So, man, that sucker was nice. And then the thing is about that one, when I had moved in, how can I say this? Well, I had to pay off some stuff. It was, because like I said, you had to wait till that tax money come. Wait till that tax money come, and then I had to pay off some stuff from a previous again apartment that I was, evicted from. So, and I'm gonna say that was probably like 2 years. It probably took me. I think I was staying with my mom for about 2 years before I got my own place again. So when we how can I say this? So I what was I about to say? Oh yeah, so basically the apartment was so nice, and then when I went to apply for the apartment or whatever, they showed me a whole nother layout. And then so they was like, yeah, I'm approved. And I was like, well, first they was like, I'm not approved. And I was like, well, why? They was like, yeah, you got to pay off this and pay off that. So I'm kind of in my mind like, damn, I guess they would show that on my report. Like, damn it. They was like, yeah, you got to pay off this and whatever. But once you pay off that and show us proof, then, you can, you'll be approved. So I'm like, so you telling me I just got to pay off the previous thing, debt collector, yada, yada, yada. and whatever. She was like, yeah. So basically, that's what I did. Call the people and offer them. I should have offered them like less than freaking half. I was like, I could just pay. What I say? I think like 65%. And the person was like, well, how about 70? I'm like, no, that's the most I can do, 65. He was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I should have said 50. Start off with 50% and then work the way up. I see what he would have said, but I'm like, whatever. Lesson learned. Okay, lesson learned. So but anyways, I got approved. So once they gave assigned the documents, yeah, I did everything that I needed to do, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm effing moving to Baltimore. Like I worked in Baltimore at the time, but I was like, I ain't want to be moved to no Baltimore, but I did it in convenience of my son's dad. This was his first child, and he wasn't there throughout the pregnancy and everything. And one of the reasons why he was like, he don't want me to go through with the pregnancy is because the distance. Like when we had that conversation talk over his mom house at the dining room table, and this nigga was crying and everything. I guess he was seeing his life, come before his eyes. Like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be a dad, and I can't be a hoe anymore. Or how is this girl gonna be? Or yada yada yada. Or I mean, I don't know. This nigga was just crying. And then speaking of that day, real quick. So we over his mom house, and this is after about 2 weeks of me blocking his phone calls because he just kept. Before I blocked his phone calls, he was just like, get a AB done. I'm not going to say the word, but I'm going to say termination. Yeah, termination. Get that done, get that done. I was like, no, 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 I'm not going to get it. So he kept calling and texting me saying all of this stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I told this Bama ass nigga that I'm going through with the pregnancy. Let me just block his ass. And before I blocked him, I'm just like, look, don't even worry about it. Don't, I'll take care of my baby myself. Don't just pretend like I ain't tell you anything about the pregnancy. And I did say this thing, which I know that I probably shouldn't have said, but I don't regret saying it. But that's something that I'm just like, shoot, I just gave him more fuel. I did say this. I was like, yeah, and the baby probably not even yours. Now, I knew that he was the dad. I knew that, but I was just trying to say that so he can stop fucking texting me about getting the damn AB done, getting the termination done. I'm just like, let me just say something so he can just be like, F you and fine. I ain't gonna call you anymore, whatever. Because that's what I was at. My mindset was like, this nigga just need to stop calling me talking about getting the termination done because I'm keeping my baby. So how can I get him to stop fucking calling me or texting me? So I just said that to him, thinking that that would work, but it didn't. He just it didn't. That nigga was like, "Oh, so you a hoe?" I'm like, "Well, no." And then I even told him, I was like, "Listen, I only said that so you can, stop asking me to get one done." But nope, that was it. Like once I said that, he done told everybody, his mama, his papa, his daddy, his sister, his brother, his cousins, his auntie, like everybody done ran their mouth. It was like, oh, and she was cheating on him, and she don't even know who the baby daddy is. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I did, I own that one. I do own that one for me saying that, even just to have him stop texting me. Oh wait, hold on. Let me check this corned beef. Hold on. Let me check on my Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. My daughter is asleep. She ain't had no teachers come today. She had an IEP meeting. Well, I had an IEP meeting for her virtual today. So, but yeah, ain't no teachers came today, so she just went to sleep, which is good. I figured she was. This girl been up all. If y'all got autistic kids, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I figured she was going to take a nap anyway. I'm like, I closed the blinds in the living room. I closed the blinds in the living room, put on one of her movies that she likes to watch. But with her being active throughout the day, I knew that once that's on, it's Matilda, the movie Matilda. Once that's on, I know she probably was going to fall asleep. And sure enough, went up in there, that girl knocked out. Had to take her tablet, put on the charger. But anyways, I got me a piece of this corned beef. Mm, mm, okay. Mm, okay, this isn't bad. Corned beef isn't bad. This is my first time making corned beef in the oven. I normally make it in a pot on top of the stove, but I did it in the oven. Did it in the oven today. Watching these YouTube videos, man. Thank y'all. Whoever's on YouTube, and I liked quite a few videos for cooking throughout these past years. Like I'm talking about like desserts, entrees, entrees. I mean, what is it? Entrees, entrees, the main course, and then like the side dish, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, desserts and all that. Like thank y'all. Even the bread pudding. Like I'm a pro at bread pudding now. Like I'm not like, well, yeah, I'm a pro at I'm a pro at making bread pudding now. And then the thing is, when I be making food or like different stuff, I'm like, I got taste for this. Or a video might come up on my news feed about some meal and like the fish or the chicken or whatever looks pasta looks good. So I'm like, let me see how they make it. Now if it's a whole lot of different ingredients that I know that I'm not going to need in the future, they somehow use this specific wine. I don't know. I'm like, I ain't gonna buy a whole bottle of cooking wine for just this dish. So that means I gotta find another dish that requires cooking wine, and stuff like that, because I don't want the wine to go bad and waste my money. So if it's stuff like that, when oh yeah, you need some oysters or you need some capers or you need the, and I'm just like nah, I ain't gonna make that. But then I would watch other videos to see, do everybody use like them products? I mean, them ingredients. And if most of them use them same ingredients, I'm like, no, I'm not going to make it. But for the other ones, I'm just like the basic stuff that I probably already have in the kitchen, in a cabinet or cupboard. But or some stuff that I know I can just go to the grocery store and get it, and then I know that eventually I will still use it in something else. I would I would try that recipe. But before I try the recipe, like I said, I will look at, if, like for instance, um, the chicken. What is it? The chicken pesto pasta. I don't know. I got something easy. The toucan with the spinach and the tomato with the chicken. That pasta, toucan pasta. It's called something like that. Like I will watch. I'm sorry. I just corned beef in my mouth. Mm, mm. Okay. So I will watch different people videos, that are making the same dish. And then, some of them, well, most of the time they use similar ingredients, but then they do add a little bit of different things to it, or like different amounts and whatever, whatever. So then I just, after watching about 3 different videos, I just come up with my own recipe, I guess. Of course, I don't write it down. I'm just like got the basic ingredients. Like, okay, all 3 people use pepper. All of them ask for a pinch of salt. All of them use garlic powder, onion powder, some onions, whatever. But this person, 2 of them uses crushed tomatoes. The other person didn't use no crushed tomatoes. So yeah, like stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, I'm not going to use no crushed tomatoes, or it's just different things that I would put all the information that I gathered up from watching them videos when people making the same recipe, and I would just come up with my own, and it comes out good. Like I said, I probably just need to go back and look at the basic ingredients and then just do it myself. And I don't even really, in the beginning I used to use measuring cups and stuff, measuring spoons or whatever. But now I'm like, hey, I got this, and it be coming out. And it's funny because some of my food I be making the same thing. Like, say I make okay, chicken pesto pasta, for instance. So I probably make that once or twice a month. Okay, I'll probably make that once or twice a month. And every time when I do make it, it tastes different, but it still tastes good, if that makes sense. So I'm just like, this tastes different, but it still tastes good. So I'm like, hey, mm, okay, that was the last piece of this corned beef. Mm, corned beef is pretty good, and it's not overly seasoned or anything. Tastes pretty good. Um, so I was talking about something before ingredients. Um, I know the apartment in Sedonia. That's what I was talking about. I know I mentioned my daughter, but she good. I don't need to be mentioning her. Corned beef. Yeah, so this is my first time making corned beef inside the oven. So, and like I said, it came out good. I ate some, well, a piece just now, and it tastes fine. And I made some cabbage. So, and today is Wednesday. What's today? The 20th, 21st. Today is the 20th, 3:20. So yeah, I made some corned beef and cabbage today. So that's done because I'm sure enough going to get me some in probably about an hour. And then when everybody else get here, I about eat again for dinner. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm stressing, y'all. I'm stressy. Excuse me. Man, I need a massage. Okay. So okay, getting back to, okay, well, I guess this is a Dona apartment. I guess getting back to that. What was okay, the reason why I was saying that is because that apartment was like my first time moving to Baltimore, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm moving to Baltimore. So, and I already was working out there, but I like worked right off of 695, like on Security Boulevard, like that last building on Security Boulevard, the government building, CMS. Hmm. And that's a whole nother different thing right there. That company. Well, not well. The company that I worked for, Service Source Inc. Service Source Inc. It was a disability company. That most of the employees, we had disabilities, any kind of disability, physical, mental. Um, what's the other one? Physical, mental. Was that it? And like say you got like sickle cell or something like that. I don't know, like something like that. I forgot what kind of that one is. But anyways, yeah, so I worked around my coworkers, and we all got along fine. and stuff like that. But that company, that's a whole nother video. But anyway, so I wasn't like in too deep in Baltimore when I was working in Baltimore. It was right off of 695 off of exit 17. But when I moved to Baltimore, yeah, it was like a shorter commute because it would normally take me 2 hours to get to work when I was living in Waldorf with my mom and working in Baltimore. It would take me like 2 hours. Man, I had to go 395. I mean, not 395, 301, sometimes 295, 495, 95. I mean, 695, 895, 295. Like, man. So that was like 2 hours rush hour traffic before getting to work and leaving work. Get off at 5. I wouldn't make it to my mom's house till about 7 o'clock. So it was just like, damn. So when I moved to Baltimore, the commute was shorter, but it still took me about 40 minutes, to get to my job from where I lived at. Still took about 40 minutes, but it was shorter than 2 hours. Okay. But anyways, I have moved the area where I have moved at. It was down the street from my son's dad and his grandmother. Like that should have been a sign. Like this bitch ass nigga is like 5 minutes walking distance from his mom's house. Like nigga, you don't want to move out from you don't want to get from underneath your mom. Like niggas controlled. But anyway, I ain't even see all that then. But I was just more focused on and having him being able to see his son because I don't want nobody to be like, oh my goodness, she's not letting me see my child. She's not, she lives so far away. I only could see him um 2 days out of a month, and like I don't, especially experiencing with your first child. It's like, nah, like I gave you the opportunity to be involved in the pregnancy, but he ain't even do that, mind you. He just basically said, fuck you and fuck the baby. So after pregnancy, he would probably call or text me maybe once a month. Hey, did you eat? What did you eat today? Yada yada yada. Like some bullshit ass questions, like something that you can tell somebody told him. Hey, just text her. See, make sure she's good. Whatever, whatever, so she won't push you on child support. Because he was he was saying that too, like throughout the pregnancy, maybe up until I was probably about 7 months, 6 or 7 months pregnant. He would, well, no, I think he would still say that just throughout the whole pregnancy. He would be like, just don't put me on child support. I don't want to be on child support. And I would tell him, listen, I don't believe in that child support shit. Like, come on now, especially for a black man to be put in a system and then having being dictated and be like, oh, this how much you got to pay. It's like that's a burden, or that's like I mean, it's like a crutch. Like I can't even what I'm trying to say. It's like nah, like that's a whole setup for a black man. Like why would I purposely put about? Listen, I got how many baby dad? One, two, three. I think four. Avon and AJ by one guy, Solomon by one guy, Melvin by one guy, and Eleanor by one guy. Four. Okay, so I got four different children's dads, four different people. And I'm like, and Melvin, this guy that I'm talking about now, he is the third guy. So I had two previous children's dads before him that's not on no kind of child support. I wasn't on child support. They wasn't on child support. We just had like an agreement, like, hey, whatever the child needs in each household, we just get it. Like, hey, we got a routine for to see them, if the distance every other weekend, fine. And we can see it throughout the week, fine. Like it was like no court order for any of that. Well, maybe my oldest two for like joint custody or whatever, because they had to go to school. I mean, so that was a whole nother different thing. But so it was just like, nigga, I'm not going to push you on child support. Like, I don't believe in that stuff. Like, why would I put a black male in a system when I've been hearing plenty of stories when, like, a black man, this is years ago when I heard plenty of stories when men, dads, fathers is like giving the mom, like, say, $200 or no, just say like $300 every month. Like he go $300 every month. And then of course seeing a child and still getting a child clothes, um, getting boxes of food, like, hey, the child likes these kind of cookies. So I bought a big box of these cookies. Hey, the child wants a new toy. I got him 3 toys, like still providing physical for that child, like the material things for the child, and giving the mom like $300 a month. So just say total probably be like $500 a month. The dad is giving, for support for that child and giving the mother money, whatever, just say like $500. So then when they get to court, the mom like, oh no, I want more money. Or the mom is bitter because the baby daddy got other kids or got another kid on the way, or just going to a whole nother state, but then still being, sending money and sending stuff to the child. But the mom is like, oh, I gotta stay here because I got custody of the child or whatever, whatever. But the dad is free to travel, to do this, to do that. Oh, I'm taking his ass to court for child support. So then they get to court, and mind you, the dad was already giving the mom like $500. They get to court, and then the judge be like, okay, well, based on such and such, the dad, you just, you know, court order to pay 350 a month. And then the mom like, what? Oh hell no! How is that possible when he was giving me like 500 and this and that? So the judge was like, well, you fucked up. And there's been cases out here, like, of course, more money than that, but I was just saying, like, nah. So I even told him, like, just, I'm not going to put you on child support. Like, no, put a black man in the system. That's just making, and then going to jail for not paying child support. Like, it's already hard out here as it is. Like, I got freaking, and look, I'm about to get pissed off because just thinking about it, because this motherfucker got me on child support. And I'm like, nigga, throughout the whole pregnancy, you were saying, don't put me on child support. Don't put me on child support. And I'm like, nigga, I'm not. Like, come on now. I got fucking 4 sons, 4 black sons, like they came from me. And I'm just like, why the fuck would I push you on child support? That's opening up a fucking generational curse. If I put any of my son's father on child support, that's going to be that mental up in my son's head talking about, oh, well, I think I might going to be on child support when I get older. When I, like, nah, nigga. I'm not putting none of my son's fucking fathers on child support. But then this bitch ass nigga going to kidnap my son, going to say I fucking did, going to put our son in freaking harm's way, which I did not. And then going to lie, get a protective order against me, against my child, going to go to court and lie. And then going to gain custody, sole custody over our son, over our autistic son. And then going to have the nerve to put my black ass on child support. Like, where the fuck they do that shit at? That's some gay ass shit. That's why I said this nigga is fucking gay. Melvin Brown, what is he? The second, your bitch ass is a gay motherfucker. Because don't no real man do that. What real man wanna lie on their baby's mom to get the child, and then going to say, oh, well, the mom's not taking the bait for the drama. The mom, she's staying back. She ain't communicating with me. She not with the drama. What can I do? Let me put her ass on child support. Knowing my black ass stopped working once my son got kidnapped. I could not focus at work. Like, that's my baby. He's autistic. He was taken from me at the age of 3. He wasn't even functioning on a 1-year-old level. Like I said, and he probably asking, like, I'm not even trying to think about it, but I know my son is like, where is my mom? Where are my brothers? Why am I just stuck in this household with this bitch ass nigga that's supposed to be my dad, and maybe his bitch ass girl who's probably running the whole damn thing? Like, my son is like, this is some weird ass fucking people that I'm around. Where is my mom and my brothers? And then when I'm over here going to court, like, hey, okay, I agree with visitation, with supervised visitation. Can I, bring my son to my house? I'm cool with supervised visitation. Oh no, she agreed with us. Oh no, she agreed with us. We got to switch it up. Oh, you know what? So instead of having him come to your house, your place for supervised visitation, so, you have to come to the grandma's house, for supervised visitation by yourself. You can't bring his siblings with you. You can't bring no other person with you, just you by yourself. Like, what? Fuck y'all. No. And then, of course, guess what? Oh, see, look, the mom don't even want to see her child. See, if she really wanted to see him, she would go to an unsafe place that she clearly said in court that she don't feel safe going to. But if she really wanted to see her son that she haven't seen in years, she would just go over to that unsafe location by herself. But see, she don't want to do it. So, see, she's not a good mom. Like, what the fuck? I said, I'm like looking at them in court and at the judge, like, what the fuck? What is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all talking about y'all supposed to be for the kids, but y'all purposely keeping my kids separated. What benefit is it for me just to only see my son when he got siblings that he was taken from, not just me? Man, like I said, I did not want to talk about this bitch ass nigga. Like, I did not want to bring none of these motherfuckers up in this video. And I'm like, and it's sad because I'm like, and I don't even want to be thinking about it, want to be crying. But when I'm like, I'm just so confused. I'm like, am I not healed from it? Like, I want my children together. And I'm like, what am I fucking doing? That's why I'm like, I know me and my children are fucking special because of y'all trying so hard purposely to keep them separated. That's like confirmation to be like, oh my goodness, I am who I say I am. They are who they are. Y'all so scared to have my children reunite for what? Y'all just giving me confirmation of like, damn, her children got power. Like, this incarnation shit is real. Fucking scam likely. Who the okay. Let's see. Can I help you? Can I help you? Scam likely. Who is this? The CIA? The FBI? The Vatican? What do you got to say? Hello? Hello? Are you going to email me? What's the hold up? What's the hold up? Vatican? Y'all been watching me for this long. Come on now. You can say something. The FBI. I know y'all watching. You know I can see y'all. What's the problem? 240-560-3601. Scam likely. What's the problem? Are you going to say something? Are you just going to keep recording me? Hello? Oh, you must be watching my live. I'm live on YouTube. Of course, you already know my name. Demetra Hemphill. I'll give it to you again. It's Demetra Hemphill. Scam likely. Go to my YouTube channel. You probably all okay. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, it's like all this is giving me confirmation. Like, y'all trying so hard to keep my children apart, so it must be a bigger freaking reason. It's like it's just confirmation of what I've been saying. Like, once my children, because we are going to get together. Like, it's like all this is just procrastination. And during this time, I'm finding out more things about myself and about other people. So this is like that waiting period. How people be like, even the church folks, when I heard this in church a couple of times, when it's like, oh yeah, and you in the hallway. While you in the hallway waiting for that other door to open, you still got to be praising while you in the hallway. You still got to be doing your research and being good and doing this and doing that while you waiting, while you in front of the door. The door is going to be opening soon because you right in front of the door, but you just in a hallway, and then the door that you came from is locked. Like you can't go back there. So the only way you can go is forward. The only way you can go is forward. But you in that hallway and you right at the door, but the door is locked. So while you in that hallway, you gotta keep that same energy of praising, of thinking, of being grateful, of doing research, of putting pieces and clues together, you know, because the thing is that door to be open is waiting for you. Like you probably have the key but don't even know where the key is at. The key is inside you or on your person or just something, but you don't even know where the key at yet until do something, until you do some research, so you do this, so you do that or whatever. And then also what's on the other side of that door that you waiting to open, that is waiting to be opened, whatever's on the other side of the door is not ready for you yet. So it's like you might be all good. You might be like, okay, I did this, I dotted my I's, I crossed my T's, but I'm just waiting in the hallway. So you got to find things to do more research, do more things, positive things, because the people or the things that's on the other side of the door, they still trying to get it together. So we don't want that door to open and you go through the door and you just into some mess because people on the other side of the door is not even together yet. So it's like, damn, what the fuck? I'd rather be still up in the damn hallway, being peaceful, minding my damn business, doing my research, being in hermit mode. So that's how I see things. But I'm like, with me still getting emotional about the situation when my son is being kidnapped and my children is separated, I guess I'm not healed from it, but I'm like, how do I, you know, like, but I'm like, am I healed? But I don't know. That's I'm like, if you heal for something, you don't supposed to be crying about it or what? Because I'm just like, maybe because I just need to fucking like, oh my goodness, like I got my hand, I just want to wring his motherfucking neck and be like, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to my children? Like, what the fuck did I do to you? Like, I just want to grab my hands around that motherfucking neck and then just shake some sense into it. Get some damn answers. And yeah, I release my hands, have his ass coughing. I ain't gonna end this. I ain't gonna, unalive him. But I sure enough would choke, make his ass cough up that breath that's been gifted to his ass. This breath that's been gifted to you ain't for you to be spreading lies on a person who done gifted you the damn breath in the first place. I should say choking on air. That's sure enough, like, if that's what I freaking have to do for my ass to fucking stop crying about this motherfucking taking my autistic son, premeditated kidnap, and gonna lie and say that I harmed my son. Like, that's the hurtful part right there. Like, I would never hurt my damn children. Like, what for? Like, I know my children, all children are connected. Man, I know children is being more watched than a fucking adult. Motherfucking won't lie and say that I put my son in harm's way. I ain't fucking speed down no damn parking lot. That parking lot is not even long enough for anybody to speed down. That's the shit that hurts, like that lies. Like that's the only way that he can get my son is if he had to lie on me. They was like, oh, plotting and planning him and his whole crew. Oh, I mean, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with just like, come, I'm just like, come on now. When a child goes to school, Monday through Friday, they have to have a stable like address or whatever, like wherever school they go to, they have to have that stable address. Okay. And I'm like, that's all I was fucking doing. Like, okay, a stable address. Like that was already in place. Like he was with me regardless anyway. And then a motherfucker gonna threaten me with fucking um child custody. Oh, so you don't want to give him his over the counter. You don't want to give him his over the counter medicine that his pediatrician specifically said that shit don't work. You do, all these over the counter medicines for children do not work. She's like, y'all just drugging y'all kids, and he was like, well, how about the natural Burt's Bees? Like, I remember this fucking conversation. We sitting in her daggone office, and he had a cold, and then she prescribed him a prescription. I think some albuterol and some other kind of stuff that he had to take. So while in this process, the dad sitting on the right of me, Melvin probably sitting on my lap or like in front of me, and the doctor is like sitting like in jaw like in front of me, but towards the left, so she can face both of us in a way, but not like sitting directly in front of us. So then he even was like, well, what about the natural? It's like a natural bees, is a product called natural Burt's Bees or something. And then it's a natural medicine, got natural this and that. And she was like, no, that don't work neither. She was like, I'm telling you. She was like, that over the counter medicine for children do not work. Like they have to get a prescription for something, and that will work. So she's like, but parents, they keep giving them the medicine and just giving them. And then, eventually the child would get better, but that stuff really don't work. So I'm like, oh, well, shoot, say less. I'm not even going to drug up my child. Thank you. All these years, like, thank you. And she was the same doctor who even said, well, pediatrician who even said that lavender for boys do not give. Excuse me. She even told us, mind you, his dad right there, probably the same day. She even said that lavender for boys, especially black little boys, don't rub it on them. Don't give them no lavender bath, because during that time, that lavender like bubble bath is like a nighttime thing. It's supposed to put babies to sleep, and then the lotions, the lavender, soothing smell, scents or whatever. Excuse me. Look, that's how he probably might be. Look, I'm feeling what. Look. Well, his ass going to be worse. Just a little cough that I just came up out of nowhere. Nah, that ain't even. Nah, that ain't even the tip of it. That was just a confirmation that, yeah, nigga, your ass going to be coughing, hagging, coughing, nigga. But yeah, so she was like, that stuff don't work neither, whatever. Oh, the lavender. So she was like, that lavender give boys, I forgot the technical name for it, but basically boobies, breasts. It would have boys developing having little titties. So she was like, I recommend that you do, if you use lavender, put him to sleep kind of thing, stop using it, because the more you use it, he's going to develop that tissue in his chest area that's going to give him, a little chest, some little titties. So I was like, oh, I gave all that stuff to my sisters. I was like, here goes some lavender stuff. I can't use it on my son. Like, nope. And I told them why. So I'm like, come on now. So then this nigga going to talking about, oh, and this is like probably like months later or whatever. Um, he was telling me, hell yeah, give him this medicine. Mind you, it was an over the counter medicine that he would put like in his diaper bag or just something. And then I was like, what the heck? So then one night he had called me or text me. He had our son at the time, it was his day. So he was like, yeah, he's still coughing. Did you give him the medicine, the over the counter medicine, the Burt's Bees, thing? And I was like, no. The doctors, no, I have not. The doctor said that stuff don't work. And this was like months later from that doctor's appointment. So I guess he got like a slight cough again or whatever. So that's when he was like, "Oh, well, since you don't care about our son getting better, I'm gonna go file for child custody. I mean, for custody." And I'm looking at he said this through a text. Still got the text, screenshot it and everything. I printed it out. I still got all that. Shoot. So I'm like, what? And so in my mind, I'm like, what the heck? I don't even think I responded or anything because that just took me back. Because I'm like, how the fuck? Like me and him, we got a schedule. This nigga got to be slow or dumb because the medicine don't work. The pediatrician even said that. I'm like, did this nigga forget about that shit? Like, what is it? And I think I even texted him. Yeah, and probably later I had texted him that. Like, the doctor even said that it don't work. So I'm not going to be drugging my son. Yeah, I even text him that. That's when I texted him. I said, I'm not going to be drugging my son. The doctor even said that shit don't work. And then so I forgot his response, but I know it's in the text messages. I got it. I'm just like, what the fuck? And they're gonna send me, oh, well, you don't care about our son getting better. I'm filing for custody. Like, what? That was like so out the fucking blue. And then so in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to feed into that shit. Like, I don't want to be going back and forth with him over the telephone and making an argument. Like, why the fuck you talking about custody? And it's like, I didn't even want to hear his voice or just go back and forth through a text. Because again, I know that with text messages, people can read things differently. You could send a nice, calming text in a calming manner, but it's how the other person reciprocate it on the other end. They might read it as like, oh, what the fuck? What do you mean by this? Taking it in a bad kind of way, and then get upset, be like, wait a minute, I just said this, and then. So I'm like, I don't want to go back and forth with him through no text messages, and I don't want to call him and this and that. And I think I ain't want to deal with that situation. But the next day I went to work. The next day I went to work, and we got a mutual friend. She was my supervisor at the time. So I told her, I'm just like, this dude, your homeboy, and I showed her the text, and she was like, huh? I was like, yeah, he talking about he gonna take me for custody, take Melvin custody, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, is he serious? And she was like, shoot, I don't know. I said, well, did he say anything to your husband? Because her husband and Melvin, my son's dad, were like friends, buddy friends or whatever. So I'm like, did he say anything to your husband or whatever? She was like, no, nothing I know of. And I'm like, man. So she was like, you ain't talked to him? I was like, I don't know. I didn't talk to him. Like, I don't know if he's serious. Is he playing? I don't know. Cause I'm like, don't nobody should be playing about that. Like, you don't text them. That's like pulling a rifle, a gun out on somebody and then not using it. It's like, if you want to pull it out, you better use that motherfucker. Because if not, especially if if somebody pulls some shit like that on me, I'ma fight y'all motherfucking ass and take that gun and shoot y'all motherfucking ass multiple times and pistol whip y'all ass once I unload that clip. Don't play with me. So I'm like, I know this motherfucker not playing with talking about he want to file for custody. So I'm like, this gotta be serious because don't nobody play like that. Like, who in their right mind would play with threatening somebody about fucking filing for custody? So I waited. I'm like, I know this nigga can't be serious because I'm like, because I'm not giving him no over the counter drugs. Like, what? Like, huh? Because of that? So I'm like, he gotta be playing. This nigga gotta be playing. I ain't gonna entertain that. But a couple of days went past, and I'm like, and he didn't say anything else about it. But I'm like, this nigga can be slick, because I'm just like, now at this point, I don't even know about this nigga. Because his ass probably ain't trying to say nothing else about it, but really gonna go to the courthouse the next day, like that kind of thing. So I'm like, I'm uneasy with this nigga. Like, I'm looking at him a little sideways, but yeah, I still didn't ask him about it. Like, are you serious? Are you going to do that? Or, I ain't bring it up. I'm just like, But then I'm like, nah, nobody should be playing like that. So I mean, I think I gave it a week, and I gave it a week, and I said, "F that, I'm about to go up there and file because this nigga ain't gonna have me up thinking about any moment this nigga filing for custody, trying to get my son. Like for what? Like for what? Like I ain't doing anything. Like for what?" So I gave it about a week, and then I sure enough went up there and I filed for custody, paid that. I don't know how much it was. Why the fuck we got paid to file some damn paperwork? I think it was like $125, $130 to fucking file for custody. Who? Come on now. You got to pay for this paperwork. Oh, to get this, you got to pay to this. You got to pay to get a police to send hand it to them. You got to pay. You got to pay for this paperwork. What the fuck? You got to pay 25 cents a copy. All this damn paper y'all motherfuckers throwing away. And we gotta pay 25 cents to get a damn copy for each sheet. For each sheet of paper, 25 cents. I'm like, what the fuck? I think it was like $135 I had to pay to file for damn paperwork for custody. Like, what the fuck? And then still ain't get my son because motherfucker lied. So then I'm over here. Yeah, I sure enough went up there, filed for custody, whatever, and then paperwork somebody had to deliver it to him. Of course, I couldn't do it, whatever. But I'm just like, dude, you're the ass who the one brung up custody. You the one who brung up fucking custody. And I'm like, if the custody would never had happened, Melvin, our son, he still would have been using my address. So he still would have been going to school, pre-K, half a day, whatever, from my address, whatever school that would place him in from using my address, he would still be going there Monday through Friday, like what, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. And then therefore, again, motherfucker, how I been was telling your ass, you can always see him throughout the week. Pick him up for a few hours, bring him back, have him overnight, but make sure he gets to school the next day. Like, what the fuck? I would never tell none of my son's dad, oh, you can't spend time with your son. Who the fuck does that? I mean, I know some people do, but I'm not the one. Because I'm like that child. If you ain't harm my son, your son, whatever, you ain't harm them in any kind of way, fine, go see them. Because I'm like, I've been a child before. And I'm like, the only person you really harming is that child, especially when they young and then they should have that bond with both parents, even if it's separate households. Like, why I have never told none of my son's father, oh, you cannot see your son. I'm keeping your sons away from you. Like, why? For one, that would give me some time to myself. And then for two, it's like they're boys. Like, go spend time with your dad. Like, yeah, go. And this motherfucker gonna man. Man, and then both of us toured the school that our son was going to be in with the coordinator for infants and toddler program. We toured the school that he was going to be in, not the school, the classroom, I should say. Talked to a couple of the teachers and was like, yeah, this is the classroom we're going to be in, yada, 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 whatever. Like, okay, cool. And this is when he turned 3, because that's when he able to start that school when he turned 3. He wasn't 3 years old yet. This was like, okay. So I'm like, he's going to this school based off my address. That's Monday through Friday. So yes, that means throughout the week, because he wasn't in school at the time, and throughout the week, yeah, his dad had his days to see him. I had my days to see him. Like, it was like all Mondays I had my son. Then I think Tuesdays and Wednesdays, his dad always had him, like after work, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays, I always had him. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when we rotate. Like, it'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I have him. Or like, say it's my weekend. That means I always will have him on Thursdays. So that means and Mondays. Thursdays and Mondays were my permanent days to have him. Tuesdays and Wednesdays was his dad permanent days to have him. And then we just flip every other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if it's a weekend where I'm supposed to have him Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, That means I will already had him on Thursday. So it would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I would have my son. And then his dad would have him Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then Thursdays is always my days. And then that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, his dad would have him. And then I will always have him on Monday. And that's how our schedule was working. And it was working fine. Now, mind you, I brung that schedule up. I think talking to a friend or whatever years ago, he was like, how about this? How about that? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let me run past his dad. And I even told his dad, like, we can try it this way, but if it don't work out, if you feel like, though, hey, you want another day or another day is more better or this and that, that's fine. Let me know. Like, I even told him, like, let me know, because I don't want to be no dictatorship. I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm saying let's give this a try. And if you feel like it's not good, it don't work, it's an inconvenience, let's talk about it. Let's come up with a new thing. Hey, what's your idea? Told him that. But he was like, that's fine. This schedule is fine. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. So that's what it was ever since. Let me see. He turned 1 in December. So I'm gonna say we started that like in February of that following year. So once Melvin, he turned 1 in December, and we started that like in February. So we was doing that for like maybe 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years. Like, cool. You know what I mean? So yeah. So then when I'm just like, come on, dude, Monday through Friday, he would have been, in the school anyway. So that means, yeah, after once he go to daycare, you will have to pick him up from daycare if you still want him on your Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You just got to make sure you drop him off at school the next morning, or just spend a couple of hours with him. Pick him up from daycare, spend a couple of hours with him, then drop him back off. Drop him back off at the house with me. Like I gave him all these options. Like, come on now, you can always spend time with your son. You can always see him. Just make sure he's at the right place at the right time, back at the daycare center, back at school, you back, whatever. And I got texts to show all that stuff too. I'm like, yeah, you can come over, and you don't want to take him out nowhere. You just want to come over to the house for a couple of hours. Fine. You and him stay down in the living room. I go upstairs and whatever. Like, hey, or take him to the playground. Like, I don't care. Just, you always welcome to see your son. Like, come on now. I've told him that plenty of times. Like, you are always welcome. Like, that's your son. Like, nigga, I moved from fucking Charles County to Baltimore. Fucking 5 minutes from your ass to make it convenient for you to see your son. If I wasn't serious about you seeing your son, why the fuck would I make that move to fucking Baltimore? But I'm like, but let him say it. Let him and his crew, say anything about me. Oh, I'm bad. I'm a negative person. I'm this. Like, what? What? Niggas just be telling lies and shit and all that. I'm like, what? And mind you, I was thinking about this earlier today too. The same motherfuckers, these same bitches, because I'm talking about females now, be the same ones before the custody thing, when everything was all cool and everything, and I'm pregnant, and then after I had my son, and he's a couple of months old, and whatever, he's a year old. So I'm doing family pictures with my sons, and I'm, doing things with my sons, and I'm posting them the pictures on Facebook. This when I was like, big on Facebook. I ain't big like that no more. I probably stroll through it once in a while, but ain't nobody talking about shit. If I stroll through 2 or 3 show my finger up, through my news feed on Facebook, ain't nobody talking about shit. It's just selfies and people partying and shit. Like, no, let me sign off on Facebook, because y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. Ain't talking about nothing important. So let me just post my important shit and dip off and probably check on something, but dip off. But anyways, So when I would be posting these pictures, with my sons, when all of us was together and doing different things and having them for the weekend, whatever, whatever, these same bitches. Oh my goodness, you such a good mom. These the comments they writing. You such a good mom. Your sons are lucky to have you. You are so blessed. Your children are so blessed. Oh, look at Melvin. He is so cute. Oh my goodness, you just handling your business. You a strong mother. Raising 4 boys. You are such a beautiful, strong mother. Keep it up. Like, way to go. Bravo. Clap, clap. Like, these the comments these people will be leaving underneath my pictures with me and my kids. So fast forward to the whole custody thing when niggas had to lie to premeditate kidnapping my son, when they had to lie on me. Now it's, oh, she's a bad mother. She's not a good mother. How dare her? How dare her do this? She's a bad mom. Oh my goodness, she's don't even want the drama. She's don't not even contacting her son for his birthday. She's a bad mom. She's not with the drama. Yada yada yada. Like, y'all some bitch ass niggas. But then be the same ones who was commenting how good of a mom I am. Man, I tell y'all. Mm-mm-mm. And I'm like, come on, dude. All this for what? But like I said, I see the pros and the cons. I know things happen for a reason. That's why I'm like, I know this shit is eating his ass up. Ooh, I know. And if it's not, I command. Well, I know it is. I know it is. I know his fucking heart is heavy. Anybody that's involved, his close friends and family that was involved in maliciously lying on me, purposely keeping my children separated for their own personal gain. All y'all motherfuckers having a heavy ass heart. All y'all motherfuckers is coming down. All of y'all feeling ashamed. And as I say that, the wind is blowing outside. That means my words is going through the atmosphere. Matter of fact, let me crack this window to make sure it's out. Yeah, I'm getting all this out. So yeah, this wind, this air is in my name. AIR. So all that I just said, y'all motherfuckers is going down and down, down, down. And I'm talking about the hardest way possible. The heart, like everything that I'm currently feeling. Y'all motherfuckers are going to feeling it 100,000 times worse. And you cannot shake it. It's going to be on you. Like, now I have my moments. If I'm talking about it, then yes, I get emotional, I get upset. And it's just like, but y'all motherfuckers is going to be on y'all like a fucking funky ass scent. Y'all funky ass asses. It's this going to be up on y'all. And matter of fact, I did a fucking video about that shit, about karma. How that movie, what's that movie? Time Machine. How them people came out from the sand and were shooting people with them darts and leaving them marks up on them, and them black little stains on their arm after they got shot with them darts. And then the second group of people come up from the ground and then start hunting the people who got the darts that scent, because left a scent on them, and they would tie them up and then rope them down, drag them back down to the ground, underneath the ground, and I guess eat them, use them for food. So y'all motherfuckers is targeted. Y'all sense is in the atmosphere. That second round is coming for y'all asses. Every single person who was involved and still is involved. I'm talking about the judges and all. What's that judge name? Aubrey. I don't know her fucking name. But that bitch, the first judge who granted his ass sole custody, and then the ones after her, talking about y'all for the damn kids. Fuck y'all. Y'all ain't for no damn kids. Wu-Tang for the kids. Y'all not Wu. But yeah. So I sure enough did file for custody, yada yada yada. He got the paperwork, this and that. And then so I don't know, during this time, it was like, nigga, you can still see your son, pick him up at the daycare. Oh yeah, I had moved. So I was like, I'm not going to be driving. I had moved like, I don't know, like 5 minutes from my job. Like if I can, I can walk to my job at the time if I wanted to. Well, actually, no, I was in another location, but still working for the same company. But anyway, it was like no more than 5 minutes from my job. I had moved. So during the time I was moving, I was picking during the days that that his dad's supposed to have him. His dad wouldn't pick him up from daycare, so I would pick my son up from daycare, drive him to his dad's house, and then drive way back over town to where I lived at. And then in the morning times, I would be picking my son up from from his grandma's house to take him to the daycare. And the daycare was maybe like 10 minutes from where I lived at. So I would be like driving, like, dude, you can pick your son up from the daycare yourself, or just take him to the daycare in the morning times, on before your way to work and yada, yada, yada. But I was doing this for like a month after I moved, because I'm me being nice and everything. And I'm like, I'm the one who moved away, moved closer to my job, and, put him in a daycare center because first it was the grandma watching him, her fat, lazy, big black ass. How the fuck she talking about, man? That's a whole man. This bitch couldn't even be walking up the damn steps, her basement steps. And then my son, he likes to run around. It was all cool and fine in that space down in the basement when he was younger. But when he got older, that space became smaller. And my son is active. He likes to run around. He couldn't do shit in that small ass space. And then her ass walking back up and forth that basement steps, kept walking all slow. Her legs be hurting. Like, bitch, if my son run out into the damn street or run somewhere, your ass couldn't even get him. Ass probably couldn't even fucking crawl to get him. And then going to get mad. And then when the teachers, even what his people from infants and toddler program, even common sense people will be like, it's better if he's around other children. He was the only one that the grandmother was watching. And then with him having a disability, I didn't even know his daycare was going to be free. But, in the beginning, I was paying for it. Well, his dad, was paying for it because I was doing a daycare voucher. So whatever was left, his dad was taking care of the remainder. But then after filed for, the autism thing or whatever, they was like, oh, daycare is free. I'm like, okay, bet. And then why his dad going to text me? His dad ain't even know that the daycare was free at the time. And then his dad, because it was like a balance anyway, kind of sort of. But his dad going to text me and be like, well, I'm not paying daycare for you anymore. I got that text still. Well, I'm not paying daycare for you anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? I texted his ass back like, nigga, you not paying daycare for me. You paying it for your son. Dumbass motherfucker. That's why I'm like, come on now. What is wrong with this? Oh. But at that time, maybe like a week before that, that's when the daycare became free. Like the daycare voucher thing, people like kicked it in and whatever. So I was like, so I wasn't even tripping. Even if it didn't come through, I still wouldn't even be tripping. Cause I'm like, nigga, if you can't see that this daycare is for your son to be at daycare around other kids for a whole day instead of having your bitch ass, fat ass black mother watch him. Like, come on now. Like, this is benefiting your child. And I'm like, damn. And then these motherfuckers got mad at me. And then the grandmother, like I said, she was watching her own son, getting her own grandson, getting paid for it, whatever. And then she was like, well, you ain't give me no 2-week notice, which is like 14 days. I was like, well, okay, the daycare people got an opening and yada, yada, yada. And so I ain't give her 14-day notice. I think I gave her like, I want to say the very least was like an 11-day notice. The very least 11, but I want to say it was 12 days notice. It wasn't like no week short or whatever. It was like no more than 3 fucking days. She was like, you ain't give me no 14-day notice. I'm like, well, yeah, just say it was an 11-day notice, 12-day notice. This bitch was getting mad at me. Well, I'm not going to sign the paperwork for the vouchers to transfer over because you ain't give me no. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is for your grandson. He's around other fucking kids. This would benefit him. Like, what are y'all trying to target me for? Why y'all trying to, focus on me? Focus on your grandson. What benefits his ass and here goes his dad the same fucking way. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all people? And this was the time when I stopped eating her fucking food. That bitch was probably putting smells in that motherfucking food because at first I was eating her food and she would be like, I would pick my son up from her and she'd be like, yeah, I made such and such last night. Here go a plate. Do you want me to make you a plate? You want to take on a plate? And I'm used to be like, yeah, sure, why not? That means I won't have to cook, whatever. And the food was fine. The food was fine. Not complaining. It wasn't like all bad and it wasn't all good. It was like, food, fine, cool. And then right around this time, a couple of months prior, and this is before the whole custody thing, I had stopped eating her food. I'm like, and she would offer. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I politely declined it. Because I'm just like, I don't want to keep eating the lady food, feel like I'm got to be dependent on her and this and that because my family way out 2 hours away and whatever. Nah. And I stopped eating her food, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, you changing?" I'm like, "Changing? Yeah, I'm changing for the better, bitch." But I'm like, these people are so fucking focused on me. Like, oh, I ain't gonna sign the daycare paperwork vouchers to transfer over to the new daycare. Mind you, this is why still the daycare was still being paid for, because we ain't get the autism waiver for the daycare thing till like months later after Melvin was in that daycare. And the thing is, I even told them, like the director for the daycare, I said, do y'all take children who got autism? I'm talking to her over the telephone. She was like, well, you have to bring them in so we can see how your child is around other children. But yes, we do take children, that have disabilities and whatever, but we just want to see them, how they act around other children. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So set up a date to bring Melvin in and whatever. Come up in there, and I kid you not, Melvin, the kids was sleeping. It was like nap time. But Melvin, when the teacher, like opened it's like a little small, not even a door. It's like one of them short petition things. When she opened it up and Melvin seen all the little people like his size sleeping, and he seen the room and the toys. I kid you not, he was just smiling. He was just like, oh my goodness. He looked back at me. He was just smiling. I'm like, yes, we got friends. We got friends. Even though they were asleep, he was just smiling. He wasn't like running around making a whole muck. Like, he don't do that. Not around me. So he was just so happy. So then when I told his dad and the grandmother that, I'm like, Melvin was so happy. Like, when he seen them kids, like, oh my goodness, like, put a smile on my face. And then, the director accepted him, was like, yeah, he can, come, yada, yada, yada. His dad still was like, well, no, my mom told me you ain't giving 2-week notice. And I'm just like, did you not hear what I just said? Your son was happy. He about to have friends. He about to have playmates.
But let me get off of here. Because these people, yeah. Let me get off of here. Like I said, they just confirming to me like my children are very powerful. Because if you go out of your way to lie to get custody of a child, it's like, and then to keep them separated from their siblings, and then afraid to have them reconnect. It's like you must know something. You must know something. Like I said, y'all just confirming to me that my children, me and my children, we are very powerful. Like this year, 2024, and y'all will see us work for real, for real. Because y'all towers is falling. Y'all harvest is here. All that shit y'all was harvesting, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that shit is here for harvest for y'all asses. So yeah. All right. Um, until the next video, I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm straight. I guess, man, I ain't want to. Like I said, whatever comes out, whatever comes out. But I'm good. All right, y'all. All right.